What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here for a technical analysis on ticker POWW or Ammo Inc. I will have you note that on the left-hand side, we're looking at the daily time frame, and on the right-hand side, the 30-minute intraday time frame. Also note, if you're not familiar with my charts, the green line is the 200 SMA and the blue line is the 50 SMA on both the daily and 30-minute charts. So that being said, mapping out very obvious areas of resistance from the daily time frame, obviously our pivot high from in there, and then some support is coming in here, and also it looks like we had a level at 691. You can see from in the past we had touch 1 as well as 2 led to a nice little bounce, and then here in the more recent history, touch 1 led to a nice little bounce and 2 as well, but now a close underneath that area from the daily perspective. So that to me has me immediately looking below to our $6.54 mark. That close below looks weak. We've also retraced nearly 100% of this up move, so it's very likely that you do go to the 100% mark. Just to sort of illustrate what I mean by that, if we throw the Fibonacci's on from low to high, a 0% would be obviously up here at the highs, and now we've certainly closed well below the 61.8, and it's very likely that you just come down and revisit the low end of that overall range. So that's going to clear that up. I do think there could be a possibility for some sort of resistance trendline to be drawn in. You can see if we did it like that, it would be too steep, something like that, too steep as well, and even that too steep. So I'm not entirely sure how useful that would be at the moment. Maybe if we do something from the highs, so no and no. So neither of those resistance trend lines are really in play either. I like to go through that exercise with you guys just to sort of illustrate how my mind is thinking when I'm analyzing charts. So 654, critical support underneath. Scrolling back from the daily perspective, I would also make the argument that if we just get rid of that actually and grab our other tool, the next, kind of line in the sand underneath this, it gets nasty, right? That's $6 on the mark. That's going to act as a psychological level, and just in terms of recent price history, that was, another recent bottom, okay? So 601 is a critical support. I would argue that by the time we get there, this green line here, which we know is the 200 SMA, could catch up and provide a super support at that area, in which case you're looking for a first touch bounce. Now, jumping over to the 30-minute to see what we can learn in terms of some more granular levels, let's say there's a move to the upside. Where could we potentially be headed? I would argue that this is probably a more important area of resistance. It was prior support here, prior support, and then it turned into resistance, right? Resistance, and then support here as well. So a lot of price interaction around $7.21. I would argue that if there is any sort of snapback reaction, that would be the area to keep all eyes on. Now, after that, scrunching this chart up a little bit to get some more price data in here, I would say, just picking out rough areas, $7.40. You can see a top in here and a top in here as well. 200 SMA from the 30-minute perspective will be there as well, depending on when this ultimately plays out. Now, you could make the argument there is a resistance trend line on something like this. You could go boom, something like that, and obviously any sort of bounces will be met with overhead resistance coming down there as well. So all things to pay attention to. I would argue that POW, not an ideal long in my book right now. I'd really wait for a trend reversal before considering taking this one long. So if you learned anything new from this video, let me know down below in the comment section or by simply leaving the video a thumbs up.